Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Friday. It's Daryl here. It's bright and freaking early, man. You know it. It's 3:30 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. Okay, you know those videos. I come on here and I say, oh, I'm ticked off. My hands are shaking. I can't even work my computer. If you watch my channel, you probably heard me say that over some social injustice or some video I'm going to do. That's how I'm feeling this morning. And this feeling has been building for about a couple weeks now. And let me fill you in. About a week and a half ago, McCarthy, the House Speaker, came on TV and he said, well, if we can't come to an agreement on the federal ceiling, the spending limit, then federal workers won't get paid, Social Security won't get paid, Medicare won't get paid. So I see McCarthy say this and it panics me right away. And I'll tell you, I'll get into that more in a second. And I'm like, well, he's just using it as a bargaining chip. He's Republican. He's trying to make people nervous to press Biden to agree to his terms. That's what he's doing. He's using this. Then I see Joe Biden come on TV, President Biden, and say the same thing. And now I'm thinking, wow, this could be real. This could really freaking happen. Then I see Donald Trump at the town hall meeting Wednesday, which I'm sure many of you heard about, CNN, town hall meeting fiasco. Traitorous CNN, and Donald Trump says about the default. He says that we should go ahead and do a default. Just the nonchalant way he says that. To me, that's like saying, well, we should go ahead and nuke the country because somebody else is going to nuke it anyway. So why don't we just nuke our own country? That's what I hear when I hear him say that. We should just do a default. This man that lives in Mar-a-Lago with dozens of golf courses, gold toilets, that will, he has no worry. We'll just go ahead and do a default. Then he says this. He says, it might affect the country for a day or a week. Who knows? I'm like, oh my God, this guy has a chance of being president. This will ruin the country. Millions, billions of people. It will ruin everybody. Not just people getting Social Security. Not just federal workers. And I'll get into that more in a second. So I started looking up, well, what is it? Somebody's got to agree on this because this is a disaster, a complete freaking nightmare for the entire country that's looming in a couple of weeks. Everybody should be terrified of this. And the fact that Donald Trump is just nonchalantly saying we should go ahead and do this, it'll only last for a day. It's terrifying me. So I started looking into it. Well, what do these Republicans want? Somebody's got to agree. We got to settle this. And I'll explain why I feel like this in a second. And the first thing I read is the Republicans want Joe Biden to agree that there won't be more than a 1% increase in federal spending this year, next year, for the next 10 years. 1%. And then there's more. There's more about doing away with clean energy, pumping up the fossil fuels, just about everything bad you could think of. They want to do away with everything good and pump the bad up. And but the one thing that caught my eye, the May 1st thing was the 1%. Would you go to work? You're interviewing for a job and your boss says, well, I'm not going to give you more than 1% raise for the next 10 years. You'd be freaking crazy to take that job. As long as inflation always goes up, that's how the nature of the world, the nature of the universe. And it goes up more than 1% almost always. So with every passing year, the federal government will get more and more broke and unable to pay anybody, U.S. soldiers, just anybody and everybody. And they want Biden to agree. This is the first thing that they want Biden to agree to, which is just ridiculous. You can't, how can you agree to that? And it would make more sense maybe if you tax people like Donald Trump, who only paid $700 in federal taxes, for 2 years, and then paid none. Remember, we saw his taxes. That's less than I paid, less than you. How old you paid? He's got dozens of golf courses, gold toilets, Mar-a-Lago. And he just says, yeah, we should go ahead and do a default. It'll last for a day or a week. And look at the way this guy lives. And look at what he's paying in federal income tax. Look at what I've paid for the last 40 years, what I've paid in every single week. This is my money. And you're saying now, it's just gone. It's gone. What I've been counting on for movies, for food, some people count on it to pay their entire rent, to completely live on, to buy food and everything, to pay their car loans. Okay, so I've talked to Republicans before, like the nurse I've talked about in another video, this male nurse. And he says, I don't care. I don't care. I wrote off Social Security a long time ago. I worked 2 jobs. I put money away. I invested. I'm not even counting on it. And he doesn't seem to realize, like with me, my artwork, right? That's a good part of my income. The people that buy my artwork, even if they're somewhat well off, middle class, they use Social Security to buy these little extras. All right. When I take a walk here in town, there's over 50, I think it's over 55 buildings with 100 units, 150 units. And most of these people are on Social Security or using Social Security for a good part of their income. What's going to happen if they even now, if I were somebody depending on this money even now, I would start cutting back. This is probably affecting the entire country right now. So what's going to happen to those people that use that to pay their rent? Well, if you're a cold-blooded Republican, you'll say, well, it doesn't affect me. We'll just kick them out on the street and bring in somebody that could pay the rent. Or we could turn them into condos. There's an even better idea. Okay, so who's supposed to buy these condos, right? Wealthier, middle, upper income people. We'll use them to fill the vacancies when we kick out all the people on Social Security. How do they make their money? Let's say one lady has a lamp store. She wants to buy a condo. One lady has a couple restaurants. How do they make their money? I don't think Republicans see that it affects them too. All the people that get Social Security put that money back into the economy, and that money goes to other people, the middle class, the upper class. That's how they make their money. That's how they make their rent. That's who they sell their lamps to. That's who they sell their food to at the restaurants. That money will stop coming in if it hasn't already, because people are freaking out about this. It would affect everybody. The car loans, when people can't pay their car loan anymore. Say somebody that's 66 years old and it's using their Social Security to pay their car loan and their car insurance. Well, a cold-blooded Republican would say, well, just repossess the car. Okay, so that's going to happen dozens, hundreds of times. So the person that owns that car lot, like here in Connecticut, there's several car, these certain families own big car lots. Who do you think is going to buy those cars? The lady that has the restaurants that no longer has business because the people that are on Social Security aren't eating there anymore. The lady that owns the lamp store? No, because she's not selling lamps to half the people that are on Social Security. They aren't buying lamps anymore. It will affect everybody. The land, most wealthier people make money through land, through renting their land. These people won't have income coming in. So Republicans say, well, they'll kick them out and rent to somebody who does have money. But those people that do have money make their money from people that are mostly on Social Security. They use Social Security for some of their income. It would affect everybody except for people like Donald Trump, who have so much money, more money than God, and pays less taxes than, I don't know, a 10-year-old boy. It's pretty obvious here. The people that make more money, like Donald Trump, should be paying their fair share. This whole thing, take a look. I'll have a link down below. What Republicans actually want, what they're saying that has to be agreed to. And I could see why Biden doesn't want to sign this. Like I said, 1% raise in federal spending each year for the next 10 years. That was just the first thing I read. And I was like, this is insanity. This will just make matters worse. Every year is going to get more disastrous. Like I said, would you work for somebody? Would you go to work for a boss that told you, I'm not going to give you more than 1% raise for the next 10 years? No. This will destroy the country, and not just for a day or a week. People that are in danger of losing where they live or food to put in their mouth aren't going to forget about this. This would destroy America. For Trump to say, well, let's just do a default. It's like saying, let's just nuke the country. Scary stuff, man. I can't believe this guy might be president. Give it some thought. Have a good Friday.